For activity 8, we're going to be doing games. And again, if you go to the very first page of your activity outline and read it, it says students are required to teach one game activity. Read chapter 22, game skills. So in chapter 22, we're going to go to page 546. So turn to page 546. And here you're going to see a table. Table 22.2, which is lead-up games for sport chapters 24 through 30. So that doesn't apply to us right now, but these are games that people can look for to use in basketball, football, hockey, soccer, and so forth. But what I want you to look at on page 546, they say developmental level 1. What does that mean? Developmental level 1 activities applies for grades kindergarten through 2nd grade. Developmental level 1 is for grades kindergarten through 2nd grade. So you need to know that. They talk about that in the book on page 546. A lot of these games focus on individual games for development level 1 and creative play. So there's a lot of low organization about the games because the kids can't do that higher level of thinking. So development level 1, grades K through 2. So whoever has numbers 1 through 13, you're going to teach development level 1 games. So on page 546 is animal tag. Notice they have a formation picture there. You are to include that formation picture in your typed activities that you're going to give to me. So you can figure out to draw it physically by hand, electronically. You can take a picture of it and insert it into your document. I don't care how you do it, but that picture of the formation has to be in your typed activity. So turn to page 548. There we see aviator. It also has a picture of the formation. And just like what you see there for aviator, that's exactly how it should look when you type it up for me. Number 3 is bottle kickball. It also has a formation picture there for you that you need to include. Number 4 is cat and mouse. It also has a formation picture. Number 5 is Charlie over the water. Turn the page. That's on page 550. There's no formation picture there, so you don't have to include one. 6 is firefighter. So at the top of page 551 is firefighter. There is a formation picture. Hot potatoes is on page 553. No formation picture. And you keep going like that. But if you notice, number 12 says squirrel in the trees. So let's turn to squirrel in the trees in our book. Yes, you have an activity called squirrel in the trees in the book, but that is not the activity number 12 is going to teach. You're going to go to my courses and list it under, let me see if it's under the activities. Yes, there's a games file, and in the games file, that's where you're going to see the squirrel in the tree activity. So do not type the squirrel in the trees activity listed on page 558 in the book. You're going to use the one listed in the games file in my courses. Tommy Tucker's Land. Let's see, where is that? Yes, that's on page 560. There is a formation picture that you need to include when you type that activity. Developmental level 2 starts on page 561. Developmental level 2 activities deal with grades 3 and 4. Developmental level 2 deals with grades 3 and 4. So for developmental level 2, you see chase and tag games are more complex and they demand more maneuvers. So number 14 will teach addition tag. Again, you have a formation picture there that needs to be included in your typed activities. Bounce ball on page 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562. 562 Bounce ball is on page 563, and they have a diagram there that you need to include in your activity. Box ball also has a diagram. I have modified box ball, and I play that in the classroom, not just in the gym. You can play that in the classroom. You move the desk, but you can play it in the classroom. Crows and Cranes is on page 565, and it definitely has a formation picture that you need to include. Number 18 has Fly Trap. There is a formation picture. Turn the page one step. Oh, turn the page several times. Let's see, where's One Step? One Step is actually on page 569. I really like the game One Step. You can modify that to use all different types of supplies. They talk about ball or beanbag for each pair of children. This is a fun game to play with scoops and balls as well. So you can modify the activity to a different type of supply. Steal the Treasure concludes developmental level 2. Steal the Treasure is on page 571. There is a formation picture. Developmental level 3 starts on on page 572, and you'll see Barkler's Hoopla on page 573. But for developmental level 3, we're dealing with grade 5, the 5th grade. Developmental level 3 is for the 5th graders. And developmental level 3 activities or games are more complex and organized. So there's a lot more cooperation needed, and there's a lot more strategy needed to play these games. So Barker's Hoopla is found in the book. Frisbee bowling, they moved it. And now it's on page 607. So I'm going to go to page 607. But I like Frisbee bowling. That's why I kept it. And so you have the instructions there on page 607. Then back to page 581 is Foursquare that we're going to play outside on the sidewalk from the gym to the parking lot. Foursquare. I've also seen a 9-square game last fall at the last Layford convention I went to. That was interesting. Mosquito Tag is on my courses. It's also under the games file under activities. And Crazy Critter Catch is cute. It's fun too. So they're listed there for you under the actual games file under the activities tab. So that concludes activity 8. Activity 9 is soccer. So if we look on our first page, students are required to teach one soccer activity. Read chapter 27 on soccer. So let's turn to page 664. 664. And notice there's drills for 2 players. So whoever picks number 1 will do dribbling, marking, and ball recovery. That's number 1. Under drills for 2 players. So number 1 will teach number 1. I should change that. Drills for 3 players on page 665. Whoever picks number 2 will teach the first one under drills for 3 players, which is passing and controlling. This is the area where you need to look at it to make sure you're getting the right activity. Number 3, whoever's number 3 will teach number 3, dribbling and passing. And notice it says figure 27.9. So the diagram 27.9 is below number 4, but it actually applies to number 3. And so that diagram needs to be included in your typed activity. Whoever picks number 4, dribbling and stopping the ball, is number 4. There's no diagram to include in that one. So make sure you put the proper figure, proper diagram with the correct activity. Number 5. Whoever's number 5 will teach number 5 on passing. Figure 2710 needs to be included in that diagram. Whoever teaches number 6 Whoever picked number 6 will teach number 6, passing and defending, and you do need to include that diagram. Drills for 4 or more players. Whoever picks number 7 under drills for 4 or more players will teach number 1, dribbling, and figure 2712 needs to be included in your typed activities. Number 8 will teach number 2, passing, guarding, and tackling, and you see figure 2713 diagram there that needs to be included in your typed activity. Number 9 will teach number 3, shooting, goalkeeping, and defense, and there is a diagram there to be included. Number 10, passing, controlling, and defense. That's number 5 in your book. Number 11 will teach number 6, shooting, and figure 2716. That diagram needs to be included in. So you can take a picture of it, email it to yourself, and crop it, and include it in your typed activity if that works. Or you can physically draw it by hand or do it electronically. Number 12 will teach number 7, shooting and goalkeeping, figure 2717. Number 13 in class will teach number 8 in the book, kicking and trapping. No formation, no picture to be included. Number 14 will teach number 9, passing and shooting. There's definitely a diagram there that needs to be included. And that is it for drills for 4 more players. But for soccer now, let's do soccer activities, page 669. So these are some games, some lead-up games that teaches parts of the game of soccer. So for development level 2, we just talked about that. Development level 2 is for our grades 3 and 4. 3 and 4. So number 15 is going to teach circle kickball on page 669. Number 16 is going to teach diagonal soccer. And then you must include that diagram. Turn the page. Number 17 will teach dribble-rama for soccer. I love the game dribble-rama for soccer and also for basketball. You'll see it in basketball as well. Bullseye is another good game to play. Whoever has number 18. Development level 3 for 5th graders. Number 19 will teach mini ball soccer. 20 over the top, which is in the book. 21 lane soccer, 22 line soccer, 23 mini soccer, and 24 6-spot keep away. Those are definitely has much more strategy involved with that. Fundamentals involved. They have to know how to play the game. Then on page 675, I have the soccer skill test. So if you drew number 25, you will go do the figure 8 dribbling that is located on page 675. Activity 10 is the last activity we'll be teaching this semester. And if you look on page 1, it says students are required to teach 1 basketball activity, 1 softball activity, or 1 volleyball activity. So it's either going to be basketball, softball, or volleyball. So as you see here, numbers 1 through 13 will be teaching basketball. So let's turn to page 619. On page 619, we see basketball drills. The heading at the top, drills should simulate actual game situations. So for ball handling drills, number 1 in the class will teach around the body drills and figure 8. Around the body drills, around the waist, around the head, and triple play. And then figure 8, they will do those. The around the body drills and figure 8. Number 2 will teach double circle drill. There's figure 2410 there to be included in your typed activity. Number 3 will teach changing hands control drill, which is on page 620, figure 2412. And then you have several others there. File drill, circle star drill, 3-player weave. There's a lot of pictures here for basketball to show you how to do it that you need to include in with your typed activities. On page 622, that's where I see the circle star drill, because that's a passing drill. Squad split vision drill. Yes, that's a passing drill. What else? 3-player weave, the figure 8. That's a passing drill. File and leader drill is under shooting drills and the layup drill. To finish activity 10, numbers 14 through 25. Number 14 through number 19 will teach softball activities. So let's turn to page 686. 686. And on page 686, we have under developmental level 2, the throw it and run softball. So that's grades 3 and 4. I like that game because there's no batting involved. So when you're just teaching them how to play the game of softball, you can teach them how to just throw it and how to run the bases, how to play defense. That's a good starter activity for softball for 3rd and 4th grade. Then number 15 will teach hit and run. There's a diagram in the book on page 687. Kick softball is your usual kick softball that you're thinking of. Number 17 is beat ball. 18 is 500. I like 500. That's a game I taught back when I would teach City League, and I would use that little game and modify it to teach about 4 or 5 players on the team and work with them and teach them how to catch grounders and fly balls and stuff like that. So that's softball. So volleyball, if you're numbers 20 through 25, you're going to teach volleyball. So let's turn to page 712. On page 712, we have developmental level 2 activities, which is beach ball volleyball and informal volleyball. So that's for grades 3 and 4. And what's good about that, they're just learning the skills. There's no specific serving involved, which that seems to be difficult for the students at first when they're first learning volleyball. Then for developmental level 3, which is 5th graders, there's a pass and dig activity on page 713 that I like. And then rotation mini volleyball. So you're kind of playing the game of volleyball, but you're only playing with 3 players, and you have teams of 3, and you're rotating after 5 points. 3 and over volleyball, which is on page... Where's 3 and over volleyball? I know it's here somewhere. Let's see. Oh, there it is, right in front of me. Page 714. That one's fun, but you have to hit it 3 times before it goes over. So it teaches them that rule of the game, and it teaches them how to do cooperation to make sure it's hit 3 times before it goes over. And then volley tennis is on my courses. Volley tennis is an activity that... went the wrong way. Volley tennis is an activity on my courses. You're using the tennis net, but you're using volleyball rules. So you can play on a tennis court, and it's a great activity to play 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade, where you're teaching them the volleyball rules. The ball can bounce. You play with a playground ball instead of a volleyball. So it's a great starter lead-up game activity for the kids to learn volleyball. So this concludes the lectures on the activity outline.